Thank you everyone for coming today. I really appreciate your help here to help us shine a light on a very important community program and a community partnership. I'm joined here today by the Honourable Shannon Fentiman, who is the Minister for Prevention of Domestic and Family Violence, among a number of other portfolios, and Brian Codd, who is Assistant Commissioner of Police for the South East region. So thank you very much, and delighted to be standing here with both today because of the work that they are doing in the community, and we're delighted to be able to support them with that. This weekend's match against Geelong, we will shine a light and bring awareness to the prevention for domestic and family violence, and we would love for a large crowd to come to Metricon Stadium and help us do that, help raise the social awareness for something that as a community we need to change the story for. And I'm pleased to be able to tell you that $1 from every ticket sold will go towards a range of charities, including that. And we also have a $55 membership, a Play Your Role membership, where the proceeds from that will be split amongst some of those charities. Domestic and family violence is so important to this community, all around Australia, but also very specifically here on the Gold Coast. There is nothing more important than the world that we set up for our families. And that's whether you want to run a sporting club, a school, or just a good home, we have to do whatever we can to make sure that that world is as safe as possible for all of our families and all of our the people within our family. I know that it is such an issue, and the Minister will talk about some of the programs and some of the statistics around that. We're really pleased to be able to play our role in helping that come to the fore this weekend. And there is a very, very clear message. If you go to our website, you will see some of our players and our coaches talk about the issue, and there is a very, very specific line that we've taken from the Minister's work, and that is, when it comes to domestic and family violence, it is never acceptable. Not now, not ever. I'll hand over to the Minister now.
Well, thank you, Mark. I am so pleased to be here at Metricon Stadium today to really launch Domestic and Family Violence Prevention Month. From the Torres Strait to here on the Gold Coast over the next month, community organisations, sporting clubs will be doing their bit to say not now, not ever. If we want to challenge the attitudes and behaviours that underpin the cycle of violence, we need communities to come together and stand up and say no to this violence. And footy is a very powerful vehicle for sending that message, particularly for our young men and boys who really respect and look up to our champions of the sport. So the power of players showing respect to women and girls, to getting that message out there that says not now, not ever to domestic and family violence, is certainly very powerful. And that's why I'm so pleased to be kicking off this month of community activities here with the Gold Coast SUNS at Metricon Stadium. We know that domestic and family violence is a scourge on our communities right across Australia. Here in Queensland, our hard-working police receive almost 200 calls a day. So we know we have to step up and do more to support women and children when they make that brave decision to leave a violent relationship. It's one of our government's top priorities. It's why we have a $200 million investment to implementing all the reforms from Dame Quentin Bryce's Not Now, Not Ever report. And I know that government certainly has a role to play, with resources for our hard-working community groups, for improving our justice responses and holding perpetrators to account. But if we're really going to tackle domestic and family violence, it has to come from the community. And that's why we value so much our community partnerships. Our partnership with the Gold Coast SUNS is so important to us. They do so much tremendous work in the community here on the Gold Coast. You know, their players, their champions of the game really take their role very responsibly in making sure that we can all help challenge those underlying attitudes and behaviours. I'm happy to hand over to the Assistant Commissioner and then take questions.
Thank you, Minister, and I acknowledge you and Mark. It's tremendous to be here. There is so much that we have to do in the space of domestic violence. One is to acknowledge the scourge that violence, particularly for our most vulnerable, is, but it's also to acknowledge where we are making a difference. I can tell you that without going into before going into the more positive aspect of some of the achievements we're getting here, the harsh reality of it is that here on the Gold Coast, the most violent and dangerous place for all too many of our vulnerable people, women and children in particular, is not on our streets late at night, but it's behind closed doors of their homes. We need to do something about that, and the first thing to do is to uncover this conversation that is often in hushed tones. And that means entering into arrangements with partners, with other elements of the sector that we're dealing with, with education, with communities, but also with NGOs and with wonderful organisations such as the SUNS, who step up to their social responsibility about being part of a positive future as we try and defeat this scourge together. One of the great partnerships that we've developed with the SUNS is through our Cultural Liaison Office and the SUNS is a program that's going to be designed specifically with looking after some of the multicultural communities that we have here on the Gold Coast and we're blessed with, that make up part of the fabric of this part of the world. As a result, a program has been developed starting tonight where there will be a number of sessions with representatives of the culturally and linguistically diverse communities so that they can understand and learn more about domestic violence, the causes, and more importantly, some of the treatments. An important part of the sessions that we're running starting this evening is also a program of breakout encounters with respondents, where respondents, the perpetrators of domestic violence, will be able to access mental health support, legal support, and other prosecutor support from the police to understand the impact of the perpetration of violence on vulnerable people, what it means, and take account and responsibility for it. Could I finish by thanking and acknowledging the wonderful partnership we have with the SUNS with this great initiative which culminated in the awarding of a grant as part of the Safer Communities grant for both the SUNS and the Gold Coast Police District to attend to this very important aspect of our community. Thank you.